All right, today we're going to be talking about building a community. You've written an awesome book, and it's people have questions. People want to grow. People want to interact with you, and you can't be on the phone 24/7. And creating a community is awesome for a lot of reasons, and we're going to cover that next. All right, I'm Scott Paton. He's Brian K. Wright. Brian, why is it important to have a community?
Well, because your community is potentially the group of people who might continue buying your books and participating in other things that you may want to offer. In my experience, some people might just buy your book and it's a one-time thing, but there are people in your circle that can become super fans. In other words, they buy everything you do. Let's just say, for example, you have a favorite musical artist. If you really like that artist that much, aren't you going to buy everything they do? Most likely. You'll buy their merchandise, you'll attend their concerts, you will buy their books, you'll go see them speak. You want to create super fans who will buy everything that you do. And so having an engaged community can help you do that. For example, my Facebook group is called Authorpreneur Live. I've got a lot more people now than I did just a few months ago. And the group is very engaged, and people have participated in multiple collaborative books that I've offered within the group. So I have a group of raving fans, and it really is very, very helpful, because when you make an offer to people who are actively engaged and already know you, love you, and trust you, it makes your business grow a lot faster.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so what are some of the things that you do to keep everybody engaged?
I post every single day. And in my case, I post every single day about something related to writing, Monday through Friday. And then I'll post something a little more motivational on the weekends. But I stay active in that group every single day. I've been in Facebook groups that were active and aren't any longer because the person who's the admin of the group got very busy. Other things became a priority and the group lost engagement. And it can take a while to regain that momentum. So I don't ever want to lose that momentum. So I post every single day in my group, because you have to earn the right to keep making an offer. If you only show up when you want to sell something to your group, that group isn't going to buy from you because they see through it. So it's not just making a post, but it's adding value to your post, encouraging people to discuss. And what I do is anytime someone answers a post that I've made, I will make a comment as often as I realistically can. But I try really hard to respond to everyone's responses, and that keeps the algorithm going, and it keeps my posts top of mind to my group. Now, I also, when I try to grow my group, I try to add people that I think are most likely to want to accept and engage. I don't just invite everybody, especially at first. You want to add people who are most likely to support you and are most likely to engage, and invite them to invite the other people too. So you want to make sure that you are working with people who are willing to be active. And you do that by posting every single day, in my experience.
Well, that sounds like a lot of work. It must take you hours and hours and hours to write a post.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. Because if you are already very familiar with your topic, you can just pick one subtopic from your book and write about that if you want.
But you're not talking about writing like 10 pages in a post. You're talking about a couple paragraphs.
Yeah, a couple paragraphs. Absolutely. And what I do is I keep a record of the topics that I've posted about in my group. And what I do is, because new people have joined my group, I might go back and revisit something that I posted a couple months ago and maybe add a new flavor to it. So I'll revisit a topic that I posted about a couple months ago, so that the people who have recently joined will get to experience that as well. So you don't have to create something brand spanking new every day. You can repeat something that you've already posted, but just make some changes to it. So Facebook doesn't think you're just reposting the same thing all the time, because that is lazy.
Right, right. So you had mentioned in a previous discussion that you posted memes of your, right? So that's images, that's visual, text is reading. Do you ever do videos in your group?
Every once in a very great while. I should probably do more videos in my group, but I haven't. But that is a great idea. That is something that you actually can do. And I do that on my timeline quite a lot too. I find it interesting though, that Facebook doesn't seem to give as much love to live videos as it used to. Okay. I don't get as much engagement with Facebook live videos as I used to. And I don't know what the reason is for that.
I've noticed that once you hit 25 or 30 minutes, it bumps up. Because normally in anything, it starts at wherever it starts and then it goes down.
Yeah.
And with a lot of my live videos, it starts wherever it starts and it stays steady. And that doesn't mean people stay. It means people go and people come. But at the end, which, you know, usually at 30 minutes, a couple of my clients do what's called an after party, which is basically, this is what we're going to talk about today, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we've talked about it. And now we're going to have a kind of just this little get together, an after party, and, you know, ask any questions you want. We're just going to hang out for the next 10, 15 minutes if you all do. And they have more people in the after party than they have listening to the regular part.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I think after a period of time, Facebook pushes it a little bit more. Maybe not as much in the beginning, but after about 20, 25 minutes. Yeah. That's what we've seen. But I'm thinking that, and I know another fellow who has software that, so everyone in the group uses the softwares. And so we always want to know, you know, how are you improving it? And how do you do this? And all those sort of things. And he will just do random Facebook Lives, and he'll just get on and say, hey guys, just getting on live to let you know I got off the phone with the programmers over in Romania and blah, 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 and this and that and the other thing. And sometimes he's got it mounted on his car dashboard as he's driving, and sometimes he's in his office, and sometimes he's walking down the street. It's just like really random, and it is random times, right? Yeah. It's like he didn't tell anybody he was going live, right? Of course, everyone in the group gets the notification, and, you know, 2 or 3 people show up, and then the rest of us, we watch when we get on Facebook, right? Right. And so, you know, I think going and doing the Facebook Live is a great way, because then they see you, they see your expressions, they listen to your voice, you know, you can't, you know, touch, but it's kind of as close as we can get without being in the same room. And then the writing. So do you do your content creation, like, you know, let's just say it takes you 20 minutes, 20 minutes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and post it? Or do you do, you know, a couple hours on, I don't know, like Tuesday afternoon and get it all done for the week?
Either way is valid. I tend to spend a little bit of time every single day, because sometimes I'll post based on what I'm thinking about in that moment. Right. Or I might post based on something that recently happened, and I might want to capitalize on that and spin it in a way that suits the thing that I'm used to talking about.
Yeah, I subscribe to this fellow on YouTube, and I know we're kind of talking about building the community on Facebook, but he gets together with his staff and he does a week or 2 weeks, or I mean, I don't know how many weeks worth of content, and it's about 10, 15-minute videos on his topic, right? And you can just tell that the more you do, the easier it is, right? Because then all of a sudden, oh, I can relate this to my topic, I can relate that, and you wouldn't have thought about it a month ago, right? So he will sit down with his staff, he'll come up with the things that they want to talk about, and at the time that we're recording this now, Ukraine and Russia are having a little bit of a war, and so, like, the day after it started, he posted a video. And of course, you know, what he did is he did all these little videos, and then he had his staff schedule them, and then they don't think about it, right? Right. So all of us are watching this video, and he's talking about, you know, immigrating to Russia at the time that Russia just invaded Ukraine, right? Right. You know, so 2 days later, he's on, and and he's obviously like made this special, because it's like, who knew? Right.
It looks insensitive now, doesn't it?
Yeah, like we didn't, we go and we make these. This is how I know how he does it, right? Because he explained. He says we go and one day a month we make our month's worth of videos, or or every 2. I forget what the period of time is, and so we just made this video on Russia, and then we scheduled it and go about our day, and we didn't think, that Russia was going to invade the Ukraine, and so we've had a little bit of pushback on that video, and
right.
I'm sorry, right? Like it was really, we wouldn't have put it out if it had been like 2 weeks later and we'd had a chance to sort of think about it a little bit more, but it was, and so it was actually an excellent video, because you could tell he was really talking from his heart. He was really, he was caught with his pants down, so to speak, and made his apologies and explained, how these things happen, because it did look like war, and then like Russia's a great country if you want to, move there and this and that and all.
Right.
That's like, that was an oops, right? So,
right.
So you have to, I mean, but that's a black swan. Like, we don't have wars starting in the middle of talking about a country every day. So, but you need to react. So the point is, you don't just do something and then abdicate responsibility, right? If you're creating the content all at once, great. And then when you put it out, look at the reactions that you're getting and respond to those reactions. And if it's a huge negative reaction, like he obviously got, then, make a post about it and, and go from there. And he certainly had, I mean, everyone will forgive mistakes, I think, if they're honest mistakes, right? And you're not deliberately trying to cheat somebody or steal or lie or defame. Right. There, it's like we all make mistakes, and that's a way that you can actually, it's not a way. When it happens, how you react to it and respond to it will either build your community and create trust and deeper connections, or it'll destroy it, right?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, and you have to have some flexibility too. Maybe having some backup videos as a plan B might be a great idea in case something like that happens.
Right. Yeah.
Backup content. Yeah.
I'm sure now he's going to have a calendar with whatever countries he's talking about on the calendar, so that if there's something going on, he's going to check. Did we talk about that recently? No. Are we going to be talking about it?
Right.
We're talking about Malta today, and it sunk into the sea. That doesn't. I guess that's not a good place to move to.
Right.
So what are some of the other things that you do to attract people to your community on Facebook? We're really, trying to focus on Facebook groups here.
Yeah. I ask people to invite their friends that they think might be interested in the topic that my group is about. That also can be very, very helpful. I think also encouraging other people to make posts can also be great, because if you're the only one posting, people may lose interest after a while. But if you want to create community, encourage people to post about the topic that your group is about as well. And that can be a really great way to
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So give me an example. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, Brian, but we have this group on entrepreneurship. What would be an example of a post to push me to create my own post? Or like, how would you encourage me to post on your?
I would probably, in my welcome post, and I haven't done this, but it's probably a good idea. In your Facebook group, you can click on the members link, and there's a space where you can welcome new members that joined the previous week. Have that and encourage the group to welcome them and say, tell us what you do. And then they'll usually respond. Some of them will respond. It's like, hi, I'm glad to be in your group. This is what I do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You might also make a post saying, you know what, I do welcome other people posting about this topic as well. Please feel free to do that. without, don't spam the group, obviously. But
Right.
if you have something to say that is on topic, we welcome that anytime.
Brilliant. I really like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered a lot about building community today. So thank you, Brian, for being here and contributing.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next time, everybody.